Ted.
Hey, how are you?
Have you been watching what we've been up to?
I have a nice little old helium trick there. Nice.
Yeah, I should
Feeling
have.
feeling a little lightheaded.
Yeah, I am. I should have sent you some. We could have done the whole thing with helium. It would have been a lot more fun that way.
That would have been good for the audience, right? Give them a nice laugh on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it's what this whole thing is about. Just kind of having fun, anyway.
Yeah, totally.
So Ted, man, thank you for joining me. Maybe I'll bring the helium back. We never know. So you are. Go. I'll let you introduce yourself. Go right ahead.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. So yeah, my name's Ted Ammon. I head up the sales here at Privy. And yeah, I'm excited to chatting with you today.
Beautiful. So can you tell us a little bit about Privy for everyone who may not know?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, here at Privy, we're a Boston-based company. We build software for small to medium-sized e-commerce businesses, retailers. So basically, the crux of our product is twofold. Our core focus, our bread and butter, is conversion optimization. So basically, for the last 3 years, we've been building software to help retailers basically drive more email signups, acquire more, of their users coming to their sites, and then also, optimize their displays, on-site displays to drive purchases as well. We've evolved a little bit we actually recently launched an email platform to couple with that. So in a lot of cases, our customers will tie in with another email system like Klaviyo, MailChimp, so on and so forth. But we have a solution that's for small businesses that, allows them to send like coupon reminders, things like that to, again, tie into that whole concept of conversion optimization.
Okay. So in terms of, because I know the email thing's a kind of a newer feature that you guys just released, because I know you and I talked about this a little while ago. When do you think it's useful to use yours versus a Klaviyo or a MailChimp, or is yours more of like for the newer sellers until they're ready to graduate to a software provider or an email provider?
Yeah, good question. So since it's very new, I mean, like I said, we've been building e-commerce software for 3 years. Really a much smaller fraction of that has been focused on that email product. So it's definitely in its kind of early phases. So to your point, exactly, it's mostly the, retailers that are just getting off the ground, right? Mm-hmm. And they want to be sending newsletters or just very basic drip campaigns, or maybe even coupon reminders for people that sign up for coupons. That's where that's a fit. Now, as they get into segmentation and more advanced follow-up, that's where it makes sense to have, MailChimp, as they have a larger database, they just kind of have more sophisticated use cases. They typically will use a platform like that.
Okay. You guys, you're based out of Boston, right?
Yep. I'm looking out the window right now and we're getting snow, and it's the first, almost second week in April. So yeah, it's crazy. We're
in the city, so we're thinking we might get a little bit, I think, tomorrow night, but we've just been getting rain all day.
Nice.
But you guys do, I've seen, I don't know if I might be mistaken, so tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys have put on events, or do you guys attend events a lot? Because I've seen you guys went to a Shopify event or something like that. So I was curious if you attend them or if you're actually putting them on in Boston.
So you mean like networking events or customer events? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of times, we'll actually co-host events with our partners. So Shopify Plus is a big partner of ours. Klaviyo is a big partner of ours. We do a lot of work with Swell as well. They're another Boston-based company. So yeah, typically it's kind of, we'll go in together with those folks to organize those events. And then, we'll kind of all get together, invite key customers, also prospective customers, and host those events. And usually what we'll do is we'll have a customer, in a lot of cases, speak about their experience using kind of all of these solutions together, talk a little bit about their background. And yeah, it seems to be going well. People really enjoy hearing from other retailers what they've seen work well and in some cases not work well. So yeah, we haven't gotten to the point where we've hosted our own events, and that could be just given our bandwidth right now and kind of, what what we have on our plate. But eventually our goal is to start, hosting like user groups meetups around the country, that sort of stuff. But that's a little bit of a ways down the road.
Cool. And I don't mean to toot your own horn for you, but it's funny because I'd reached out to you probably I think 3 or 4 months ago when we first started, doing a little bit of work together. Because I've actually used Privy for past e-commerce companies prior to when I came over here to Seller's Choice. And it's amazing how there was such a need for your software. And I never understood for years why no one fixed the pop-up issue of customizing them completely without having to pay an arm and a leg to do it. So it was so nice to finally find your software. I think it was a few years ago when I found it, or 2 years ago, when it was just so nice to be, on the small to, at the time, like medium, largish size e-commerce sellers who actually need customized pop-ups. So like here at Seller's Choice, we're very big on branding. And when you have these limitations of the customer attention, the pop-ups that you can actually use, it makes branding like nearly impossible to just have this obnoxious like white box show up in the middle of your screen. So it's nice to give them like a little character. We use GIFs and stuff in them. I've definitely, I've had my fair share of fun using your platform. So you guys are actually like one of the first people I reached out to, just because I was like, I love working with you guys.
Nice. Yeah. Appreciate that. It's, we got to have fun, right? That's what keeps us going. It's, you got to mix that in every now and then. So yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, that's kind of why a lot of folks come to us is, the product kind of enables, it unlocks a lot of that more custom functionality, personalization. It helps businesses basically do more on-brand display, like you said, to align with their sites and just kind of the experience that they create for their users. So
yeah. Well, we actually, it's funny, earlier today we did a video that hopefully will get up pretty soon, but it was a video on an argument that we always have in-house about driving traffic to an Amazon listing or driving traffic to your own site. So we had, each person took their own side. But the big problem right now that we see is that it's about the experience. So people like to just go to Amazon, even if you sell on your own site, just because they like the customer service and they like the experience and they're used to it and they trust Amazon. So we talk about the customer experience, and using your pop-up for us was a great way to make it more fun to purchase with you, or to, let people know as they're buying, like, hey, this comes with a guarantee, like a quick pop-up so that they know it's clear and it comes away. And it was really it really helps to keep the customer retention, and you actually we've seen sellers become a lot more competitive with their own Amazon stores and keeping their customer.
Yeah, and I know this, the topic of this video probably wasn't to talk about that specifically, but I talk with people about that all the time, and it's a super interesting conundrum, right? Because Amazon, you get so much exposure. Again, all those logistics and things like that are all taken care of, and obviously, people are used to it. They trust it as a platform to buy through, but you have so little control over that experience and, the communications. If you acquire a customer, I think actually Amazon doesn't give you their email address. So like following up with communications, like you're relying on them either going back to Amazon or using expensive ad targeting, right, to bring them back. So the control in that relationship is really hard to create when you sell through Amazon. So there's obviously pros and cons. We could kind of debate that, all day. But yeah, that's the beauty of it. I love where we're at, and I love, just generally being in the e-commerce space, because now is frankly a great time to be a retailer. And, Amazon is the Goliath out there that we all kind of come up against as small to medium-sized retailers. But, if you can create a fun kind of brand and create a really good experience, it's about winning those relationships and keeping those for a long time. So, we have a lot of fun doing that for sure.
Yeah. When we had the argument, I took the side of driving traffic to a website. I'm personally not a huge fan of Amazon, just dealing with them. But it's the same thing. It's why we utilize the pop-ups. I always tell our sellers the second best KPI next to sales, obviously, is an email. And it's just strictly because of customer retention. Like, everyone has such trouble with product launches. But if you had a large email list and you're launching a new product, launching that new product to an existing customer base is significantly easier than fighting with Amazon's damn algorithm all day.
For sure.
So, so whenever we do these videos and I'm lucky enough to get, a software like yourselves, I always ask, my favorite question is there any features coming out that you can tell us about?
Yeah, so a few things. So my head of engineering would probably kill me for talking about this sort of stuff.
What they all say.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, this isn't trade secrets or anything we're giving away, not quite yet. But yeah, basically, there's a few things. So one is a big part of conversion optimization is testing, right? Testing data, using data to enforce decisions. So big part of that is A/B testing. A lot of our power users and best customers, they'll leverage A/B testing in our platform. So we have kind of the first rev of A/B testing that launched about a year or so ago, and we're making some revisions to that. We're beefing that up to just give our customers stronger optimization capabilities and better reporting around that. So that's one thing that we're very excited about and excited to release over the course of the next few months. The other few things are actually on the email side. So another piece of this is actually expanding email capabilities, offering more segmentation, also some, just kind of more advanced use cases on the email marketing side for these, smaller retailers that, again, are just kind of getting off of the ground. So there's some exciting, movement there. And given our customer base, the volume of users in that threshold, that kind of lower threshold, folks that are just getting off the ground and getting started, it's very exciting for us to kind of provide them with a solution that encompasses all of that in one place. And then the other side is really the third piece I'd say to mention is on the design side. So while we obviously I'm going to be pretty biased about this. We have some great design capabilities, and we have a WYSIWYG editor where people can build and modify their campaigns. It's never good enough, right? And we're constantly pushing that envelope to be better and do better and provide better solutions for our customers. So we're making advancements there. We're going to be enhancing our design and display options. We're also going to be looking at more just kind of customization and configurability in those displays. So that's something to expect as well.
Cool. So you guys obviously have all these customers, you get all this data. Do you actually aggregate the data so you can say like X amount of revenue has been driven from Privy, or X amount of emails have been gained from Privy, or anything like that? Do you guys actually have that data in your backend somewhere?
So you're saying like aggregate across our entire customer base?
Yeah.
We have the data, to be honest with you. We look at it, and we look at it in certain ways to just kind of track overall, growth of our business, growth of our customer base. We look at some of those kind of, more vanity metrics. Just like anything else, we could be doing a better job, and we're actually digging into that. And eventually we'll get to a point where I think we'll have some really interesting, we have a lot of stats. We actually released a report at the end of last year that talked about basically the state of e-commerce. We surveyed hundreds of our customers, and we also looked at some of the data that we're seeing in our platform around like, traffic sources, also device types where people are shopping, some of that behavior, right? Where people are coming from, how they're buying, how they're interacting with our displays, that sort of stuff. So we aggregated that, and we ran some specific reports for that report in particular. But in general, our plan is to start surfacing that on a more regular basis. So we can share best practices and say, okay, people that do X see Y, and we have the data, because we have the data in our system for sure. It's just a matter of how we actually expose that and how we surface that to our community. So definitely some work to be done there as well.
Well, I asked because I was curious if there's like any really impressive metrics that you could give me based on utilizing Privy.
Yeah, some interesting things. As you know, mobile is a growing category. Last year, we saw a massive increase in mobile traffic on our displays. Just so you know, this is, for what it's worth, it's kind of a vanity stat, but we had 3.3 billion views on our displays last year. So a lot of exposure across the customer base, a lot of people seeing these great campaigns that our customers are creating, that sort of stuff. And yeah, we have, some certain specific stats around campaign types. So for example, people that are running welcome campaigns. So for new visitors coming to their sites, a best practice is to offer a welcome campaign, a welcome offer to, invite that visitor, make them feel warm and fuzzy, right? And provide them with, an incentive to make a first purchase. And in exchange for that, they often ask for an email address, right? This is something you're very familiar with. Typically, we see about a 5% conversion rate on those. Those are kind of benchmark standards. We've seen a lot better. We've seen up in the 12-15% range in some cases, depending on the brand, depending on the offer. But yeah, 5% is typical there. What we see in another area of the funnel, so when you move down the funnel to cart saver campaigns. So when you think about an abandoned cart campaign, an email campaign, a lot of times retailers have email series that kick off that say, okay, if you had items in your cart, and they didn't complete the transaction, but they made it to the point where they gave us their contact information. There's, 9 out of 10 retailers have that in place today, right? But there's a whole other pool of visitors that ultimately add items to their cart that don't even make it to that campaign. So usually that abandonment rate on checkouts is about 70%. So if you look at the overarching kind of number of how many actual people add items to their cart but don't even make it there, you're talking about another usually like 50% in a lot of cases of people that actually make it to that process. So what we find is actually 10% of people, when we implement a good, strong cart saver campaign based on exit intent. So what I mean by that is someone that adds items to their cart, but then they go to exit out of their browser. People that implement those campaigns and have strong offers, they're able to recover 10% of those people leaving. So that's real dollars, right? And 10% of people adding items to their cart. So if you have 100 people that do that every month, 10 customers, you multiply that times your average order value, and you can get the revenue figures. So just to share a few stats, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, it was. I
we see
wrote
some
it down.
common use cases and some good numbers around that.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, Ted, I really appreciate you chatting it up with us. I would, if you want to, if you have any closing remarks for everyone, that would be great. We'll always throw this up on YouTube, so it'll be up on for life. If there's anything you want to say.
I'll be careful what I say then in that case. If it's evergreen content. No, like I said, now is an amazing time to be a retailer. Check us out, Privy.com. I'll obviously leave you with that plug, being the sales guy that I am. But also, just Seller's Choice, you guys are doing a great job. Thanks for including us. And check out our academy as well. We have lots of great resources there. In addition to Seller's Choice, you guys have some great blog content. There's a great community, great mentors and folks out there to help small and medium-sized retailers. So tap into that network. My advice is always to leverage that network to learn and just kind of get better day over day. So we believe in that mantra, and we're always looking to help folks that we can.
Perfect. Ted, appreciate it, buddy. Have a great Friday. Tell everyone I said hi.
Thanks, Andrew. You too. Have a good weekend.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Bye.